The ninja. Masters of stealth and espionage. With their legendary, almost magical skills, tales of the ninja have sparked fascination the world over. The secretive teachings have been passed down through the ages and survive to this day. The culmination of centuries of martial arts wisdom lives on in the practice of ninjutsu. We follow the pursuits of a remarkable master and his practitioners in a quest to uncover the essence of the ninja path.
Ninja have inspired all kinds of fantastical legends, thrilling us in everything from movies to comic books. Ninja weren't born with supernatural powers, however, and had to undergo years of rigorous training to develop their extraordinary skills. The ninja master and people keeping ninjutsu alive today have the same devotion to the art.
The Bujinkan Dojo sits just northeast of Tokyo. Ninjutsu training is held each day from morning till night. Students hail from around the world to learn directly from the master. At 87 years old, Masaaki Hацуми still leads practice sessions several days a week. Over the course of a year, around 10,000 students visit the dojo for training. Some have been practicing for decades. While the global appeal of ninja may be a modern phenomenon, ninjutsu itself has a long history. Ninja were most active during Japan's Warring States period, from the late 15th century through to the end of the 16th. For the feudal lords of the era, anticipating the enemy's next move was key for victory. Unearthing such critical information was the domain of the ninja. Infiltrating the enemy unnoticed, they would act as spies, securing essential information that could provide a tactical advantage to their masters. The techniques of ninjutsu played a crucial role in all their missions. Success depended entirely on having the skills to make it out alive. Challenged, ninja had to be adept in both armed and unarmed combat. This made ninjutsu an indispensable tool for survival. Different regions of Japan had their own forms of ninjutsu, which were passed down over generations. Masaaki Hацуми is the present-day inheritor of Togakure-ryu ninjutsu.
Okay.
With Togakure-ryu as their base, Hацуми Sensei's teachings meld the various classical Japanese martial arts he's mastered. The result is Hацуmi ninjutsu, the ultimate survival technique. It's capable of repelling attacks in all manner of situations, even when knives or guns are involved.
スポーツを教えてんじゃないからね、実践の感覚を教えてるんだからね。
It's not sports that's teaching, it's real fighting.
The highly practical nature of Hatsumi ninjutsu has gained the respect of the FBI and other security forces. For many who live in countries where the threat of violence is constant, it's become the self-defense system of choice. Hatsumi Sensei has taught abroad since the 1980s. He's made it his life's work to convey his vision of ninjutsu to people across the globe.
When the ninja craze first started in the US, it was really quite awful how they were portrayed. It wasn't even seen as a sport, it was much worse. They saw ninja as the bad guys. I felt something had to be done, so I went overseas.
And so in a sort of kamae when you get their shoulder?
Siete in una specie di kamae quando arrivate a prendere la sua spalla?
It might not work, but this way, they get lower.
Così sta anche in guardia?
The true core of the ninja path is spiritual development. That inner focus is the most important aspect. To be a ninja, you need that martial arts foundation.
Paul Massey first came knocking on the door of Hatsumi Sensei's dojo in 1994.
Move very naturally with the opponent.
He'd come all the way from the US with the dream of becoming a disciple of the master himself. Now 52, he's been training here for over 25 years.
I wanted to do martial arts, so I started with the ones I could easily find in my own neighborhood, right, which was karate and aikido and kung fu, but they didn't all like have, something didn't bring them all together. It was like they'd all been like branched off from something. And when I met Hatsumi Sensei, everything was in his art. Anything that was useful, Sensei would use and use it freely. And this was really something that was for me, mind-blowing at the time.
In Hatsumi Ninjutsu, when someone attains the 15th Dan rank, they receive the title of Hanshi, or teacher. Paul has earned the title of Dai Hanshi, or senior teacher.
Well, there's one movement, you're controlling everything, basically.
No, the whole movement is a flow, right? So there's no kind of breaking in between the movements. And your balance is always being broken. It's kind of like you're moving on a wave. So it's not uncomfortable.
As well as traveling around the world to help spread Hatsumi Sensei's teachings, Paul has regular students at the dojo who he trains every week. The use of traditional ninja weapons is one element of his sessions.
These longer ones are good for, mostly we throw chokuraho, or chokuraho is like this way, right? Throw it whatever foot forward you want. Doesn't matter. Did you want to try this a couple times? No. Just hold it like this. Yes. Yes. All right. Very good. Very nice. This is what we're doing, right? From there.
The depth of the techniques are carefully matched to the student's proficiency. Paul teaches each step one by one.
There goes the arm, right?
Empecé entrenando, como todos, pensando en el ninja, pero luego me di cuenta que era una forma de vida. Y bueno, desde que empecé a viajar a Japón, mi vida cambió gracias a eso, ¿no? A este arte marcial. Y lo que hace es que tener una vida mucho más plena, feliz.
I do ninjutsu because it improves my life. It gets me in touch with my body, gets me in touch with my environment, and instead of hiding away in my head all day, teaches me how to live. So I can't stop.
While Hatsumi ninjutsu retains tradition, the combined martial arts techniques let it neutralize various attacks.
So as the punch is coming in, I'm getting offline. I'm receiving kamitue, right? From here, I might strike here, and I get that thumb in here like this, right? Like that, down like that. Then I switch to other points. You see that? I got 2 points here, right? Then from here, I switch another point here. Using the fingers, each one individually like this. Why wouldn't you have 10 weapons here? naturally gifted, naturally born weapons on your fingers. You should be able to use each one individually like this. We're applying pressure points to receive some sort of reaction from them. According to that reaction, I'll move to the next spot, right? And according to that reaction, I'll move to the next spot. So it's not really planned, but it's planned because it's moving, right? He's moving a certain way, and I just react with that.
One feature of the discipline is making use of what you have at hand.
You can use a belt. You can necktie. Happen to have a necktie here with me. Anything that's a flexible weapon, right? Various lengths you could use, right? Right, it comes in, same thing, you're coming off the side here, right? Now, I could bite here, no problem. This gives me a little more length to play with, right? So I could do the same thing, hit here with my finger, you see that in the throat? Bam, right? Then from here I can drop it, right? You still have it, it's down on. From here I'd go into this one. A little bit of a different ending, right? And you take this and you can tie it around his eyes so he can't see. Right, like that. How's that, Rick? Can you see?
Dedicated practice is required to harness the full potential of Hatsumi ninjutsu. The ultimate goal is growing to unleash the right technique swiftly and instinctively, reaching a state of total control over the surrounding space.
From seeing some of those Hatsumi ninjutsu techniques, I could really get a strong sense of its practicality and how it could be applied in various situations. Let's continue by taking a closer look at the actual training methods ninja use to become masters of espionage and see what gave them that mysterious aura.
Professor Yuji Yamada of Mie University is an academic authority on ninja. As one of Japan's foremost experts, he has published numerous works on the subject.
There are all kinds of techniques described in old ninja texts. They start out by explaining the forms, but gradually over time they go beyond that. You can eventually get to a point where you penetrate an opponent's defenses without them even sensing you're there, as if you've reached a state of nothingness.
The ninjutsu practices that enable this state of nothingness demand profound powers of concentration.
For example, they would set a candle in front of them and stare intently into the burning flame. By allowing themselves to become completely absorbed in the flame, they were able to develop deep states of focus over time. Additionally, they would sit down and have needles dropped on the ground behind them. By listening keenly for the exact number that fell, they were able to cultivate those subtle powers of concentration that allowed them to perceive with great clarity.
Ninja would also practice 9 hand signs to further deepen focus. They stilled the mind and were believed to give protection. Operating in disguise was essential for the ninja. They often wore garments that helped them go about unnoticed, and always carried 6 items. These 6 ninja tools could be used in a multitude of ways.
This woven hat would conceal your face, and these slate pencils are for marking. Then, this long cloth could be used to hide one's identity from the enemy at night. That was one use, but if several were tied together, they could also lower a ninja from a high place, much like a rope. Finally, it would also function to filter muddy water, making it cleaner for drinking. So this simple cloth was truly multifunctional. This is for carrying embers, and this is a pillbox for medicine. Stomach aches were common back then too, so medicine was considered vital. Lastly, we have a rope with a grappling hook for climbing. Carrying such everyday items allowed a ninja to avoid arousing suspicion. Although basic accessories, they were small, light, and immensely versatile. These tools of the trade were selected and narrowed down through much trial and error to find out what was most useful, finally settling on the ultimate in simplicity.
That same simple efficiency is reflected in the ninja's choice of weapons.
This is a 6-pointed shuriken. Each has varying numbers of points. This is the one used in Togakureiryu. Different traditions used different kinds.
Shuriken are known the world over as the typical ninja weapon. They were highly specialized multi-purpose throwing blades, mainly used for self-defense. Tailored for ease of use in a variety of situations, they came in all kinds of shapes and sizes.
Ninja would generally carry around 9 shuriken with them. They weren't used to kill, but rather to deter an enemy. This hole could be used for pulling out nails. They had all kinds of uses. You could even use them for picking locks. This is a ninja sword. It might look just like a normal sword, but it's actually somewhat shorter.
Since ninja were primarily involved in covert operations instead of open combat, their swords were also designed accordingly. They were fashioned for easy handling even in tight spaces, with an emphasis on stabbing over slicing. The short blade helped them quickly silence any witnesses.
Many people are concerned about the weight of a sword, but those people probably aren't fit to carry one. It should become a natural extension of your body, so you don't need to worry about weight. That doesn't come into it. When you empty yourself, you feel fine, however heavy it is.
The life of a ninja demanded not only specialized knowledge and outstanding physical ability, but also great mental strength. Remaining constantly hidden, often in plain sight, was literally a life or death survival skill. It's incredible how their one secret techniques have been passed down and survived in the modern world.
With the end of Japan's Warring States period and a new era of peace, many ninja began to compile written records of their techniques, wary that their art might otherwise be consigned to history. Ninjutsu's wealth of knowledge continues to be passed down through the generations. Togakure Ryu master Toshitsugu Takamatsu transmitted his legacy to his disciple, Masaaki Hацуми. Today, those teachings remain core to Hацуми ninjutsu.
His wasn't a world of just techniques and skills. It was truly life or death. When I met him, it was as if I'd been enveloped in something. He was awe-inspiring. It wasn't simply an aura. How can I put it? It felt like entering a spirit world. Whenever I visited Takamatsu-sensei, I got drawn into another realm. Every time I trained with him, I felt that I was growing and getting deeper and deeper into the soul of ninjutsu and true martial arts. It was like being surrounded by a suit of armor. It's that connection that brought me to where I am. But it was a full 42 years after my sensei passed away that I finally mastered the highest skill, Muto Dori. I was able to enter a state where I could defend against a sword with my bare hands.
The ultimate goal of Hацуми Sensei's teachings is Muto Dori. Namely, disarming a sword-wielding opponent with the bare hands. One must enter a state of mind beyond that of normal conscious awareness. Without even having to think about your movement, you harness the power of nothingness as you completely control your opponent. The elusive state of Muto Dori can only be reached by those who've already attained ninjutsu's greatest mastery.
When he was younger, he was doing more of it hard, and then when he was getting more wise and older, he started using more distance and timing, and now Sensei is emphasizing Muto Dori, right? Which is again using the connectedness of space. This is the feeling that you must foster in yourself. Fundamentally, I haven't changed, but I've grown in a way that. This is the way I was saying. I haven't grown, I haven't changed. What I haven't been able to do is drop away more. And right now, as I'm blessed to have Sensei here still teaching, still imparting his wisdom to me. And if I can take care of that and I can foster that within myself and within others around me, you know, then that takes care of itself. It tills the soil for the next. Whatever happens, I'll keep training until it's my turn to stop training.
To date, ninja master Masaaki Hацуми has over 300,000 students around the world. Hацуmi ninjutsu is a firmly established martial arts system.
So it's just not punching.
I'm so grateful to anyone who wants to learn Japan's true martial arts. It's a real and serious path.
The original ninja arts that developed in feudal Japan have evolved and live on today in an unbroken tradition of ninjutsu.
It's reassuring to see that ninjutsu is in very safe hands. Don't you think the ninja spirit of enduring hardships till the job is done epitomizes the Japanese approach to life? Their technical finesse and stoicism could even reflect the values on which the current day Japan was built. There's so much we can all learn from ninjutsu. Let's wrap up with this week's Spotlight. Please join us again next time on J Arena.